Hey, thank you so much for being a part of this program. I am trying to understand something. And understand before I even start here, I'm not looking to do graphic radio or anything graphic or illegal or anything like that. So, you know, before anybody all gets upset about it or gets their panties in a knot, understand I'm not going there. It might sound like I'm going to go there, but I'm not. I've known more than one guy in the past year who likes the idea of sharing his girlfriend with somebody else. And I've heard this one too many times. And it could be either, guy wants to watch his girlfriend being done up by somebody else. Of course, every guy out there just about wants his girlfriend to get it on with another chick. And, for me, I call me kooky. I mean, I'm no prude, as I always say. But if it's a girlfriend, why would I want to do that? If it's a girlfriend, why would I want to do that? I mean, think about that for a second. It's your girlfriend. You love her. Maybe you'll even marry her. Of course, you wouldn't have been listening to my advice if you did, but the point is, this is the love of your life. Maybe it's your wife. Maybe she does live with you already. Why in the world would you want to share her with someone else? By the way, Dean, please screen out those pathetic swingers when they try to call in. And anybody who uses the phrase, the lifestyle, I don't want to hear that. I don't care. We're not talking about that. We're talking about people who are talking about doing like a limited run. You know, like one night only, or one night in Vegas, or one night at a strip club or something, and then they want to share. It just doesn't do anything for me. You know, at this point in time, I couldn't say specifically that I have a girlfriend. I can't. I live alone. I don't have any commitment at this time. Won't be getting married again. Done with that. And, if I'm dating a chick, and she wants to get on with other chicks or other guys, I don't have to be there when it happens. I don't care if I am or I'm not. For me, it just wouldn't be a turn on watching a chick I'm with getting banged by somebody else. It doesn't do it for me. Now, I have to assume that you don't care about that person as much as you think you do, or as much as you say you do, if that's something you'd enjoy seeing. And for me, really, my concern is what's in it for me. What kind of gratification will I get out of this situation? Do I really care if someone else is getting excited being with some chick that I was with? What would I get out of that? Doesn't make any sense. Now, I'm a guy. Would I like to see two sisters get it on? Sure. Would I like to get into a sandwich with a mom and a daughter? You bet. That's the one I haven't been able to pull off, by the way. I'll be honest with you. I'm your professor. And I've had many close calls. I've never gotten the mom and daughter thing together. It's the one thing I haven't been able to pull off. But I see that as a totally other thing. And the mom-daughter thing should be getting easy to do because there's more moms and daughters who are closer together in age. We've now had a generation and a half of all these teenage pregnancies. You've got a lot of 40-year-old moms with 20-year-old daughters. 38-year-old moms with 19-year-old daughters. This is doable, but for whatever reason, I just haven't been able to close that deal. That's the deal I have not been able to close. I'm human. I'll be honest with you. That's the one I'd like to close. Before I die, that's what I would like to have happen. I would like to have a mother and a daughter, preferably Latina. Neither one of them above 5'5" in height. Both voluptuous but not fat. And each of them into the idea. That's my dream. I wake up in a cold sweat thinking about that. I'll be honest with you. I do. But if I'm dating somebody and, God forbid, I actually cared about them, why would I want to see them having sex with somebody else? Especially somebody of the opposite sex. Why would I want to see that? I know that I'm probably in the minority. I know most of you would just kill for this opportunity to do something that wild. Maybe it's because I've done so much and seen so much doing what I do for a living. Maybe that's part of the reason. I know that's part of the reason why I'm not into porn and I'm not into strippers. You know, I just got this package from DirecTV. It's every channel they have. You pay one flat rate every year, and it's every channel they have. There must be 1,000 channels, and they unscramble all the pay-per-view for you. Did you know this exists? Oh, my God. And I've got what looks like 10 different porn channels. Do I ever watch any porn flick all the way through or even halfway through? No, I don't. I thumb through the channels. I scroll through them. I do a little montage. I'm just watching, you know, one F-fest after another. It's just a bunch of them. And they're all on these 10 channels, all on the same part of the dial. You know, channel 591, 592, 593, 594, 595, 596, 597, 597. And I just find it humorous. People come to the house and go, hey, I got the big package here. Take a look at this. But I don't understand. Again, I know I'm the odd man out. I don't enjoy watching strippers because I don't like. First of all, I don't like paying for anyone to take their clothes off. And secondly, strippers don't actually do anything. If I want to see somebody naked, I don't want it to be somebody that I can touch, feel, and then have sex with. And if all they're doing is standing on stage, writhing around in fake pleasure, I'm just not interested. I'm not. And it goes on from there. I just don't want to see it. Porn flicks. I'm not going to touch these chicks. And besides, how many of them are really into it? Can I tell you how many of those chicks are bored to tears? I mean, I'm laughing my ass off. Come on. You know what? Clearly, they call these chicks porn actresses. Are you kidding? These are not actresses at all. They're lousy actresses. Stop it. Doesn't do anything for me. And then you add in the hookers. I mean, sure, I could touch them, but what, I'm going to pay several $100s to have sex with somebody? You know, maybe if I'm in a wheelchair. But otherwise, no. Why would I want to do that? And so it brings it back to, if I've got a chick and she's a hot piece of ass and I'm enjoying her, why would I get turned on watching some other guy do her? Maybe somebody can explain this to me. Lover? Julia, hello.
Hello.
Yes. Hi.
I was just calling in regards to your last conversation about a three-way with a couple, mostly.
Yep.
It's something my husband and I have talked about doing actually since we got together, and I just think it's interesting that it's not something that appeals to you.
Doesn't appeal to me because if I need to be doing things like that, I don't need to be married.
Well, that's a good call, but we've been talking about doing it since before we got married.
Oh, why didn't you do it before you got married?
We could never find anybody who was willing to do it with
Why
us.
didn't you wait until you did?
I don't know.
Because you were hell-bent on getting married too young and then starting the Xerox machine and pumping out kids.
That's not true. We just couldn't find anyone to do it with us.
So, dear, how long does it take?
Well, it's kind of hard if you don't know anyone who's interested in sleeping with girls.
You're telling me you don't know how to find that?
Well, I found it recently. Actually, I got back in touch with one of my best friends from when I was a child, and she and I are talking about doing it now with my husband.
Well, now that you're married, why do you want to do that?
It's always something that's been interesting to us.
Well, what happens if he finds your friend more interesting than you? Oh, that would never happen, because we have true love. A love that for the ages, a love that will last. No matter what, there are no women that he will find more attractive than me.
No, that's not true. He tells me all the time about women he finds more attractive than me. And I point out women that I think he'll find attractive.
Right. So what happens if he gets into the sack with one of them and finds that he's enjoying having sex with that person better than you?
Oh, I think that's been part of the reason that we haven't done it, because I'm a little nervous about that. But
Oh, that's a real threat, you know.
it is.
And so what are you going to do? Look for somebody he won't enjoy in bed? Then what's the point?
Exactly.
So my point to you is, this is something you do when you're not married, not involved, not in love with somebody.
That's true.
Because you are risking what you have.
That's true.
I mean, it's just stupid.
I see your point.
I have told people over and over, I think people should do that kind of thing when they're young and available.
Well, I'm not saying that we're going to do it. It's something that we're interested in.
But again, you should stop being interested in it.
Think it'll ruin our marriage?
It could harm your marriage. The other possibility that you've never considered, because you think it's impossible, is that you'd be more sexually satisfied yourself by this person.
I'm sure I would be. I've been attracted to her for a long time.
All right, well, so what happens if you like her even better than you like being with your husband?
Can I cheat on my husband with her?
That's a great marriage, dear.
I don't think it would ever happen, though. I mean, I can't see myself cheating on him with a woman. Doesn't make much sense.
What do you mean it doesn't make much sense?
Doesn't make much sense to cheat at all.
But, dear, monogamy means having sex with only one person.
That's what I'm saying.
And when you took a wedding vow, what were you doing, lying?
No.
Well, you took a wedding vow. You agreed to, quote, unquote, I'm going to quote your wedding vow now, forsake all others. Do you know what that means?
Yeah, we didn't say that, though.
What did you say? You agreed to forsake most others unless you could get girlfriends from high school to come back and get into your bed?
No, we didn't even have the forsake clause in there, but I know what you're saying.
When you take wedding vows, it's generally assumed that you are committing to monogamy, a monogamous relationship with one person.
It's not really.
If you still need to have sex with other people, you're too immature and not ready to be married.
Even if it's something we both want to do?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Fair enough.
I mean, why did the point is, why did you have to get married if you still haven't achieved or accomplished the things that you want to do with your life?
It seemed right at the time.
That's a lame excuse.
Okay.
It's a lame excuse. Now, again, dear, I've been in bed with as many as 6 people. I am no prude. But none of those 6 people were anybody I had any emotional attachment to at all. It didn't matter if I liked having sex with any of those people. If I had sex with them in the future, I was going to be hurting anybody or myself. If any of the other people had sex with other people, I couldn't care less. That's how you do it.
Okay.
I know you don't care about my opinion. You think I'm a
No, I
prude.
do. That's why I called in to talk to you.
Understand, dear, I've been married and divorced more than once.
4 times. I know.
4 times. And I'm telling you, the time to do these things is when you're not in love with anybody.
Okay.
Because if you think you've got a good thing, you're going to ruin it. And by the way, I see here on the screen you've got 2 kids.
Yes.
2. You've only been married 2 years. So what, you got married because he knocked you up the first time and then you had another one after that? Is that what happened?
No, we got engaged and then found out we were pregnant.
Well, we were never pregnant. You were.
Yes, that's true, but it's his kid and he knows it.
I understand that it was his kid and he knows it, but come on. It sounds to me like you don't do a lot of planning in your life.
Why? Just because I had kids so young?
And unexpectedly? What kind of birth control were you on?
He was using a condom and I was using the pill.
Uh-huh. And then you had to get married because you got pregnant.
No, we got engaged well before we knew we were pregnant.
And you had to get engaged at 21 or whatever it was.
Well, it's not like I'm some young kid, Tom. I've been living on my own since I was 16. And
So have I.
starting days.
So have I. Lived on my own since I was 16. In my case, I got married at 18. And that was equally, if not more, stupid.
Well, it's not like he was the first guy I've ever been with, or it was,
That's
my
not my
first love.
point.
I'd done plenty long before I'd met him.
No, that's not my point here. My point is you didn't have a threesome. This is something you clearly wanted to do. It was important to you. And you didn't do it.
So you're saying the only reason I shouldn't have gotten married because I didn't have a threesome?
Well, I don't know what other things you didn't do. By the way, where is your college degree from?
I'm actually in school right now for nursing.
Mm-hmm. So you're in school now because you were too busy getting knocked up and getting married and being in love before.
No, I was in school for 2 years before I met him, and I didn't know why I was going to school or what I wanted to do. So rather than putting myself in debt for something that I didn't know if I wanted, I went and worked until I knew that I wanted to go to nursing school.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Hang on a second, Julia. Lee, what did you want to say to Julia?
Hey, Julia. My wife and I were in the same situation that you were in. We were married a little longer than you. We've been married for about 6 years. And one night, had a little too much to drink, expressed interest in one of her friends. And my wife has never been with a woman, and she talked to her friend about it. And one night we all got together, wrote down the game plan, wrote down the rules, and went for it. That was about 4 months ago. Biggest mistake of my life. I am now extremely attracted to her friend. I've been with many women before my wife and I got married, and my wife has been with numerous men before she was married, and now I'm deeply attracted to her friend to the point where we see each other without my wife. And so be careful what you wish for, what you want, because right now I'm debating about either keeping my marriage or not keeping it because of this.
Do you
And
guys
so,
have kids?
No, there's no kids involved. We definitely didn't want that, and I had an operation to prevent that. But I just wanted to tell you, at first it was exciting, it was fun, but it really wasn't worth, in the end, it wasn't worth it, because right now, whenever we have sexual intercourse, my wife and I, she asks me, are you thinking of, let's say her name's Mrs. X, and no, I'm not, but actually I am. And then I'll be working late, and she'll call me and say, where are you? And I'll be working late, honestly, and then the days I'm not working late, I'm with her friends. And then her friend comes over, and we have to act like nothing's going on. And, it was a huge, huge mistake. This is something that you should have done before. Don't do it now. If you love your husband, I'm telling you from experience, it's not worth it. It's truly not. And then you got to also understand it was very bizarre seeing my wife with another woman, and that kind of affected our relationship for a couple weeks. And it's not what people think it is. If you're not in that type of lifestyle, it's not something that you just want to try once or whatever, because it really will affect you the rest of your life.
Okay. I mean, and that's, something I told Tom, that I am very concerned. It's one of the reasons we haven't done it is because I am worried that he might find my friend more attractive.
He will.
My question to you, he will.
No, trust me, I'm a guy. I know, he will, because, when I was with my wife for the first couple of years, it was great. I never thought about her or anybody else. I was deeply devoted to her. The minute I had some, let's just say, new stuff, it brought back all those feelings and memories of when I was single. And now I'm doing it with her friends, but I'm also looking at other women, because it reminds me, just of what I'm not getting anymore. Things my wife won't do, that these girls will do.
So why don't you leave your wife?
Part of me, I feel I truly do care for her and I love her, but I know this is going to be a phase, but I just hope we can go through it, and get through it, and I'm working on it, but, just maybe I was too immature for it, and maybe I was too immature to get married. I was 35 when I got married. I got everything out of my system, but obviously I didn't. So
and you guys had a three-way for what, just to spice up the marriage?
After 5 years of marriage, we decided to have a three-way. That's correct. So just don't open Pandora's box. It's not something that if you truly love your husband and you truly want to be devoted to him, go rent a movie, do something like that, role play, do something like that. Go have sexual intercourse in public places or something like that. Because you will always be in the back of your mind thinking, is he thinking of the other person? Or
and he will be?
That's what you'll be thinking.
Okay.
I can't explain it. It's what happens. And so.
No, that's fair enough. And like I said, that's been one of my biggest concerns. So I appreciate you telling me that from someone.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I don't know you. I don't know your husband, but I've talked to other people that have been in this situation, and chances are you're going to get divorced afterwards because about 4 of my coworkers have done it, and out of the 4, 3 of them got divorced. One's pending divorce. My wife and I are pending divorce. When you're married, you shouldn't be doing that unless it was already there ahead of time.
Okay.
All right. Well, I got to go back to work. It was good talking to you guys. Please just think about it and, role play, whatever. Go buy a doll. I don't care. Just be careful.
All right. Lee, Julia, thank you. Why do people do this? Why do people want to see their girlfriend or their wife being done by other, especially by other guys, but by anybody else? Nick on the Tom Leykis Show. Hello.
Hey, Tom, how are you?
Great.
Well, this very thing happened to me about 3 or 4 days ago. I'm here in San Francisco on some business from out of town, professional. And it's funny because the husband he approached me at a show that I was doing and asked me if I would sleep with his wife. And being that she's not my girlfriend or my wife, and I am single, of course I did. So
And did he watch?
Yes, he did.
How was that?
Well, what, him watching?
Him watching you.
Well, I was quite okay with it. I'm a very handsome man. I'm in good shape. I'm a professional. I take care of myself. I think a lot of it was what had happened was his wife wasn't necessarily into it as much as he was, and that's what was kind of creepy. And I think he took her kind of shopping for a man to sleep with. She was going to have to do it one way or another, I got the impression, because it's what he wanted.
Did she pick you out and he come get you? Is that how it worked?
She picked me out and told me that, yes, this is the guy I would do it with, and he came and approached me, and then we met after for drinks to introduce. And it was kind of under the guise, at first he got my attention because he was using the guise of trying to conduct business with me. And then the truth came out that, he's telling me that his wife had found me attractive and wanted to sleep with me, and he can't perform, blah, blah, blah.
Now where were you in this bar?
But when they approached me?
Yeah.
No, I was at a business function. I was at a business function.
At your office?
No, I was at a trade show.
Okay. In San Francisco?
Yes, just outside of San Francisco. I guess I can tell. I'm from out of town, so I guess I can tell you what I do. I'm a bush pilot from Alaska. So he took her shopping.
I'm a bush pilot, too, but I've never flown a plane.
Well, exactly. I'm a bush pilot squared. So
I understand.
So I think he just.
So she wanted you to land on the tarmac? Is that what you're telling me here?
What's that?
She wanted you to land on her tarmac? Is that what you're telling me?
I guess so. Make a short and long landing on her runway. Landing strip.
On her landing strip, yes. Unbelievable.
So I agree with you 100%. I mean, I would never do this with my girlfriend or if I get married with my wife or anything. I mean, it's just nothing but bad news. I mean, some things are probably just left a fantasy and just acted out, with you and with your other. But, I mean, it was, and she was attractive, and there was no reason really why I shouldn't have done what I did. So it's their issue. They're the ones that are going to have to deal with it, not me.
Wow. But
the funny thing is that is like the other caller was telling Julia is that she's gonna. I was definitely in way better shape and looked a heck of a lot better than her husband, and he was a little older than I was, and after the evening was progressing, I definitely think that she was a lot more into it at the end than she was in the beginning.
But you never heard from them again.
Well, they do know my number, so
so anything can happen.
A couple of days, so I don't know. And you know what? I don't necessarily think that I'm interested, but it was definitely just one more thing to chalk up for adventure and spice of life.
So you'd never done anything like that before?
Well, I have, but never with another, not with a man, just, not with a man watching me. I mean, I've been in, I guess, similar boat that you're in. I've done some things with other people. Strong heterosexual male. I know them pretty much rare around here, these parts where I'm calling from.
Oh, boy.
But, yeah, it's, I've been with other women, numerous women, more than 3, and I like to have fun, but what's mine is mine. I would never, not even with another woman, I would never share anybody that I was even remotely serious in a relation, even contemplating being serious in a relationship with.
I totally agree with you. Rose, hello.
Tom?
Is that a question or a statement?
How are you? Thanks for having me on your show.
Sure.
I was just calling actually to agree with you. I am engaged right now to somebody who has had threesomes and things in the past, and I haven't, but I have seen relationships fall apart, friends of mine and things like that because of having threesomes and bringing other people into the equation, and completely changed the way that they looked at each other and the respect they had for each other. So I was just calling to agree with you. I think that...
But wait a minute, you're marrying somebody like that?
No. I mean, he's done those things in the past when he was young, in his early 20s.
But you know for a fact, and you've had the specific conversation with him.
I've had the specific conversation.
You told him this will never, ever happen, no matter what.
Yes, and he wouldn't want that to happen. He said that he would... Well, that's one of the reasons that he wants to marry me, is I'm not that way, and that he would be jealous of anybody, man or woman, just doing anything to me. So, yeah, not a road we're going to go down, and something we've talked about extensively. So,
I hope you're right.
Me too.
Thank you, Rose.
Thank you. Have a good one.
Appreciate the call. Mark on the Tom Leykis show. Hello. Mark.
Hello?
Yes.
Father!
Son.
Oh, my gosh. First-time caller.
Yes.
Yes, I must say that anybody who wants to hear anything of theirs, I think they got rocks in their head personally.
Absolutely.
It's ridiculous. I mean, why would you want to see anybody filling out your wife like an application? I know I personally wouldn't want to see that. What's mine is mine, so to speak.
That's right.
I don't know, man. Anybody who ever wants to do any of this is just, I don't know. It's all about having what you got and, hey, trying to hold on to that, and that's it, right?
That's right, and you don't want to tempt fate.
You don't want to tempt fate because you never know what's going to happen because, hey, it could turn out to be a really ugly situation, Be like, oh, well, he was better than you. Yikes.
Yep, you're right about that. Mitch, hello.
How's it going, Tom? What's up, Dad?
Not much, son.
Yeah, basically, I was calling in, I have to say it's just different strokes for different folks, people that are kind of into that. What I'm speaking on is me and my wife have been married for 3 years, 3 lovely years, and we have actually engaged in a few threesomes. I'd say several in 3 years. It's not something we do regularly, but, we are adults, and if we do decide to go out and do that, then we will.
Well, everybody has the right to do what they want. I just think you run the risk that you'll lose your relationship.
Well, you know what, Tom? We live life, and living life is a risk every day. It's not the same risk as getting into bed with somebody else. Well, I understand that, but the way we look at it, Tom, is like this. A marriage is between two people. It's not between society. Society is not involved in your marriage. Neither is the Bible or
that's
whatever religion you follow.
It looks like society's involved in your marriage, starting with A in the phone book and ending with Z.
The Tom Leykis Show.